This card just went from an idea to a finished cinematic still with one drag and drop action. I turned my linear board into an AI film crew, and I want to show you exactly how it works, cards and all. I'm making an AI music video, which means I need over a dozen individual scenes, each one needing its own image prompt, its own generated image, its own AI character consistency check, its own animation prompt, and video clip. Doing that by hand, one chat window at a time and one prompt at a time, is exactly the kind of tedious work that kills momentum before you finish anything. So I built a pipeline instead, multiple stages running inside linear with an automation built using Codex. I still create the idea for each scene and I still approve every image, but everything in between, like writing the prompt, generating the still image, uploading it to the comment section in linear, happens on its own. First, I put my scene title, timestamp, and scene idea into the inbox stage within an individual card, and I create this card myself. Once I'm happy with how an individual card looks, I move it over to the to-do stage, and AI is now ready to get to work. The moment a card lands in to-do, OpenAI automatically writes a production-ready image prompt for that scene. That includes the shot, the lighting, the framing, and the character description. Once the image scene prompt is created, the linear card lands in this prompted stage. And from here, AI actually fires off another automation where it takes the prompt for the image scene and it generates the actual image from it. And once that image is generated, it moves the card here into the image generated scene. Now this image generated stage is when I come back into the picture. I click into each card and I look at what the image scene looks like. If I like it, then what I do is I move this card over to approved. Once a card gets moved over to approved, then an animation prompt gets generated for this image scene. So if we click into this card and we scroll down, we have the image scene and we have the generated animation prompt. This is what actually brings the image scene to life. So this is a prompt that I could either feed into Cdance or Grok Imagine in order to create a clip based off of this scene. When I create a new card, let me show you exactly what's inside. So let's click into this scene. There's the timestamp, the scene number, the title, and then a short description describing exactly what the scene should look like. So the question is, how exactly did I come up with this? Well, I'm going to show you a chat that I have with ChatGPT in order to generate all of the scenes here that you see within Linear. The first thing that I did was create a project for this specific AI music video. I fed ChatGPT the lyrics, which can be seen here, and then what I did next is I let ChatGPT know exactly how long the song was going to be, and I gave it just a general idea as to what the video could look like. So I gave a couple of scene ideas right here. So it acknowledged my message, and the next thing that I did was have it generate a role for itself. All I did here was feed ChatGPT a reverse prompt for a role. So I'm having it generate a prompt for a role that it could take on for itself. All I said was generate a role for yourself that would allow you to provide the best advice and prompts possible for creating this AI music video. So then it came up with an extremely extensive role that it could take on in order to help me make the best video possible. And then I let it know to take on this role. Then what I did here is I asked it to ask me 10 questions one at a time to help give ChatGPT additional context that would help AI make the video as good as possible. Then I gave ChatGPT a task. I said, I want to create image scenes now. Give me an outline showing what each image scene of the video could look like with timestamps. So if I scroll down a bit further, this is how I got each individual scene with the timestamps, the title, the description, and I created linear cards out of all of these. So just to more thoroughly explain what I did here is in this chat with ChatGPT, I used the CRIT method, C-R-I-T, which stands for context, role, interview, and task. I started off with giving it context. I fed in the lyrics and gave it some video ideas that I was thinking of. Next is role. So I reverse prompted a role, had it generate a role for itself, and then told it to take on that role. Now, next is I, which stands for interview. I had it ask me 10 questions about the project that I wanted to complete in order to give it more context. And finally, task. I told it to actually generate image scenes for me. Let's actually demonstrate how this works in linear now. I'm going to take this card for scene 5 and move it over to the to-do stage and see what it does. All right, AI has just moved the card from to-do to prompted, and if I click in, we can see in a comment the prompt that it came up with. So after waiting for a little bit, AI has now moved image scene 5 from prompted to image generated all by itself. And now we'll just click in and look at the work that it did. So we'll see if the image scene is good, and that looks really good to me. So now this is where I come back in, and if I'm happy with the scenes generated right here, I'll move the card over to approved. Once a card is in approved, AI automatically generates an animation prompt that I can feed to Grok Imagine or Seedance. Now, I haven't finished this workflow animation so that when an image scene is successfully created, it becomes automatically turned into a video clip. But that's something I'll be working on next. So how this would work is as soon as an animation prompt gets put into this card, or any of these cards, then the card will get moved to animated as soon as an animated clip actually appears within the card. And if I'm happy with the clip, after I review the cards here in the animated column, then I'll move them to clip approved. And from there, what I'll do is I'll export all the clips into a video editor, put them all together, and then export the project. Before this, I was doing all of this in multiple chat windows, writing every prompt from scratch, losing track of my progress with each scene, re-uploading the same character reference images over and over again. Now, nothing about that was particularly hard. It was just slow and easy to lose your place in. Now, with this linear board, every scene has a visible record of exactly where it is in the creation process. I'm not having to remember anything. The board is remembering everything for me. I just show up at a couple of points where my judgment actually matters. So this is the initial creation of the scene description, approving the image scene, and then approving the animation. What's neat about this workflow is that it doesn't have to just be used specifically for AI music videos. The pattern is AI drafts, and automation moves the work forward, and a human reviews before anything gets locked in. That's a 5-column board that you could build around almost anything, where AI can produce a first draft and you just need to sign off on it. For example, you could use a board like this for content automation. You can create a card where you feed AI an idea that you have for a YouTube video or post that you want to make, and it'll take that idea and it'll create the thumbnails, it'll create the descriptions, it'll create the transcripts, and all you have to do is go in and approve it or modify it. If you want me to break down the actual Codex automation behind this, the part that writes the prompts and generates the images, then let me know in the comments below and I'll do a follow-up video going under the hood. Subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see the finished music video once every scene's approved. And if you got a process in your own life that could run on a board like this, tell me what it is. I'm very interested to know. All right, I'll see you in the next one.